He's here. He finally arrived. The man, too bold for his own good, suddenly found himself surrounded by the girlfriends of 3 different rivals. Faced with this chaotic standoff, he chose the wisest option, fleeing back home. But even there, his companions were waiting eagerly for him. Clearly, today, he could not escape a fierce battle. Meanwhile, Liu Nian's squad managed to take down the powerful boss, the Black Mountain Demon. After bidding farewell to the divine beast they had summoned, Liu Nian and Little Yama began dividing the rewards among their group. Just as they stepped out of the dungeon, they were ambushed by the deputy leader of the Star Guild, who had been lying in wait. He had assumed the battle would leave Liu Nian and his ally completely drained, and demanded they hand over their equipment if they wanted to walk free. But the tables turned. Little Yama had already cast a death curse on him. In an instant, the deputy leader's body withered into a dried husk. No one expected that this forbidden spell, not registered in the game's system, would cause the man's actual death. He never respawned. The Star Guild members, terrified, threatened to report the incident to the game administrators. At that tense moment, Little Yama stepped forward, declaring he would take full responsibility. Liu Nian didn't hold back either, claiming he had connections with the celestial warrior Nezha, who might intervene on their behalf. His words sparked ridicule. "Stop bluffing. If you know Nezha, then I must know the Jade Emperor himself," sneered the duo known as Black and White Twins. But Liu Nian's companions wouldn't let it slide. Each one came forward to vouch for him, insisting his claim was true. What followed, however, was not the defense he had imagined. The women, divided in opinion, quickly turned their argument into an all-out clash, a battle of pride that spiraled into an absurd contest. With both sides evenly matched, the conflict escalated until only one ridiculous method remained to decide the winner. Just when chaos reached its peak, Little Yama stepped in to put an end to the madness. Only then did everyone realize that the newcomer was no ordinary player, but the celestial administrator, Giant Spirit God, who had arrived to punish Little Yama. The divine aura he released instantly crushed any thought of resistance. Confronted by the deity's wrath, Liu Nian quickly stepped forward. "There are too many people here," he said carefully. "Please, allow me to speak with you in private. I'll show you something. If that doesn't calm your anger, you may punish me as you see fit." Giant Spirit God agreed, and the two slipped into a quiet corner. Secretly, Little Yama ordered the Black and White Twins to follow and protect him, but what they witnessed left them stunned. Liu Nian lowered his trousers, revealing the unmistakable lotus mark of Nezha himself. The god recognized it immediately. From the twins' perspective, however, the scene looked far more scandalous than it truly was. The shocking sight left them blushing uncontrollably before they hurried away, determined to report everything to Little Yama. Not long after, when Liu Nian and his companion returned, the Giant Spirit God's demeanor had clearly changed. He offered a few parting words before hurrying off to patrol other regions. At that moment, the Black and White Twins looked at Liu Nian with disdain, as if mocking him like a duck being ridiculed. Thankfully, Little Yama didn't believe their words. After a brief farewell, both sides went their separate ways. Meanwhile, Shen Gongbao was indulging himself in the service of his attendants. Just as he was about to taste what they had prepared, a furious shout rang out. "Bad news! Taoist Shen! Princess Wansheng is dead!" But Shen Gongbao showed no surprise. For him, the princess had always been nothing more than a pawn. Since the pawn had failed to serve its purpose, he now had no choice but to act personally in order to obtain the bloodline of the human emperor. Still, before setting out, he felt it best to release some of his pent-up pressure. His gaze immediately turned to the servant before him, who looked up with worship in her eyes. The scene then shifted back to Wanmin Valley, where Liu Nian's team was embroiled in internal conflict. The constant bickering of 3 women over Liu Nian's exclusive rights finally erupted into open fighting. In the end, however, it was the original wife who came out on top. "Come home with me, husband. Tonight, I'll serve you well," she declared. Liu Nian understood the saying, "One gun can't fight 3 attacks." So he made an excuse about stepping out for a smoke and dashed away, leaving the 3 women frustrated and in tears. After running some distance and realizing no one was chasing him, he pulled out the Imperial Seal, using it along with certain materials to teleport back to the tomb of the Cursing King. There, his companions were surrounded by swirling smoke, working diligently. Upon asking, he learned they were preparing to forge the Dragon Phoenix sword. Once everything was ready, the forging could finally be completed. Taking advantage of the free moment, Liu Nian opened the level 20 Imperial Seal gift pack he had received as a system reward. To his surprise, the gift contained the powerful artifact Star Plucking Tower of 10,000 Demons. This treasure could absorb demon cores into its inner space, imprison them, and even tame them. Once their loyalty reached 50%, he could wield one of their divine abilities. At 100%, he could summon them to fight at his side. Inside the tower, Liu Nian himself was invincible, impossible. No matter how powerful, none of the imprisoned demons could harm him. Driven by curiosity, Liu Nian immediately chose to enter the tower. 2 imprisoned demons appeared before his eyes. Among them was none other than the slain Princess Wansheng and the chained 9-headed beast. When Liu Nian revealed the soul whip, both of them dismissed the danger and mocked him, claiming he was unworthy of being the reincarnation of the Curse King. But the moment the whip lashed across their bodies, they finally realized the torment of a strike that cuts through the soul itself. This was Liu Nian's way of breaking their arrogance completely. As he looked at the princess, his gaze turned darker. With a sudden surge of power, he pulled her toward him without even touching her. A sinister smile crossed his face as spiritual energy flared, his fingers weaving together to unleash a deadly strike aimed deep within her core. Even then, the 9-headed beast stubbornly refused to surrender, watching his companion suffer in silence. Left with no choice, Liu Nian decided to escalate further. He pinned Princess Wansheng down and, in a shocking display meant to humiliate, began overpowering her while the beast was forced to watch. Seeing this, the proud creature's heart finally shattered. With a broken spirit, he communicated secretly with the princess, acknowledging that in this space, they had no chance of defeating Liu Nian. Their only option was to feign submission, bide their time, and wait for a chance to escape. Once their chains were undone, both pretended loyalty, hoping Liu Nian would leave them alone. But just then, the system unexpectedly intervened. It declared that the 9-headed beast was more suitable to follow Liu Nian, and, in an instant, transformed him into a woman. This sudden change left Liu Nian shocked. Before him now was the beast, no longer monstrous, but behaving coy and submissive. Just as the system prepared to assess their obedience and close the chapter in the tower, the results stunned him. It revealed that neither of them had truly submitted. By listening to their inner thoughts, Liu Nian finally understood the truth. The 2 had recognized his rare cultivation body, one that was perfect for dual practice. Instead of surrendering, they were secretly plotting to capture him together. If they succeeded, they could use this chance to break through to the rank of Demon King, or even Demon Emperor, and finally escaped the star-seizing tower. When Liu Nian realized the truth, his fury exploded. He raised the soul whip once again and lashed them both mercilessly. Initially, his only goal had been to gain their submission and obtain their core abilities, but now his intentions shifted. From the corner, the eerie sight of a spinning carousel caught his attention, stirring suspicion. He picked up the uniforms lying on the ground and ordered them to wear them immediately. Princess Wansheng hesitated. These clothes were several sizes too large for her, but under Liu Nian's overwhelming pressure, she had no choice but to comply. As soon as they finished changing in front of him, their bodies were suddenly pulled into the air, dragged straight towards the 2 wooden carousels below. The moment they were locked in place, 2 agonized screams shook the entire tower. The carousel spun violently, rocking back and forth. Even the cunning, scheming 9-headed beast couldn't endure it. At last, he broke down and surrendered. Once his submission level reached 50%, Liu Nian was rewarded. He gained the beast's survival technique, the demon art, Chain of 9 Dragons. Yet, when he cast it, the manifestation was completely different from how the beast had once used it. Instead of 9 heads, the 9 lives took form beneath Liu Nian himself. After confirming there was no side effect, Liu Nian then turned his gaze back to Princess Wansheng. Following her ordeal, her submission also crossed 50%, granting Liu Nian an exclusive high-grade ability, the Purple Reef Spirit. Satisfied, and after taking a moment to regain strength, Liu Nian finally left the star-seizing tower, with both kneeling at his feet. The scene then shifted to the Imperial Mausoleum Palace. There, Consort Nu awaited at the gates, explaining that she must help the king remove every piece of clothing before he could enter. Inside, several other consorts were already prepared, waiting for his return to begin the forging of the Dragon Phoenix sword. The ritual required Liu Nian to be free of all garments, his body and spirit pure and untainted. With the materials placed into the furnace and the combined effort of the consorts, spiritual energy surged through patience, determination, and their collective strength. The legendary Dragon Phoenix sword was finally forged. The consorts bowed deeply. "Congratulations, my king, on your success. May you triumph in every battle ahead, slaying demons and striking down gods alike."